Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarda Zone Talks. I hope you're all doing well. Obviously, we are here for another stream because RTD has made another announcement. Now, before I actually get into the latest announcement, I just want to remind people that there is an actual Chris Chibnall episode still to go. I'm finding this all very peculiar. Or I have as I said, I've been very vocal on this channel, and I've said that I reckon this is all going to kick off Christmas Day. If you all remember, I spoke about that, and then we had Marty on, as you know, and he agreed with me. Also, he said he'd received some maybe information that could be a possibility. Look, the only reason why I'm saying it is because he's making all these announcements, right? Now, if he's not doing that until next year, i.e., the whatever he's filming is not going to be shown until next year, why are they making all of these announcements and why are they filming now? Surely you'd wait until later in the year to start filming if you're going to be doing something for next year. It just seems a bit odd. So I'm going to stick my neck out there, as I said, and say that this is all going to kick off Christmas Day, because it makes no sense. As I said, we've got a centenary special coming up in October, and he's making announcements, and Chris Chibnall is not even giving us anything. So it makes me firmly believe that this is all going to kick off a lot sooner than people realize. That's why I haven't called it the 60th anniversary in the headline of the video. I've just called it a special. Because I honestly don't think that this is all being filmed for November, for next November, for the anniversary. It's kicking off a lot sooner than we think, to be honest. And I mean, I think the evidence is there. I mean, the filming, they're showing, we're seeing all the footage. Also, on top of that, RTD is making announcements. He said there wouldn't be any announcements for a while, but yeah, here we are again with the announcement of Neil Patrick Harris. So, who is Neil Patrick Harris? Well, if you've watched shows like How I Met Your Mother, or watch movies like Harold and Kumar or Gone Girl, you know who he is. He's an Emmy Award-winning actor. So he's got, look, I like him personally. He's in one of my favourite movies growing up, which is Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies. If you haven't seen that movie, it's brilliant. It's about two lads trying to get to White Castle. And mad stuff happens on their journey. It's a crazy movie. Second one, not so good, but first one is definitely brilliant. And Neil Patrick Harris is in it. And he plays himself out of his face on drugs and stuff. It's funny. It's funny. But yeah, so I'll just show you. So we've got an image, and RTD teased, and I'll read his quotes now in a minute for you guys. But he's made some interesting quotes. So this was dropped by the Doctor Who official. Neil Patrick Harris joins the Doctor Who cast as part of the show's 60th anniversary. And there he is there. Now, obviously some people, Marty was actually speaking about this a few weeks back. He was actually on the channel. He spoke about it briefly on the channel. He said he couldn't say too much. But then on a member stream, we did 2 member streams. He gave a bit more details on those member streams, actually. So if you want to hear what he actually said, you can join a membership and you'll find out. But basically, he indicated that there was a possibility that the Celestial Toy Maker would make a return. Is this him as the Celestial Toy Maker? We've got to wait and see. But that's who I reckon it is as well. That's who Marty reckons it is. But we could be wrong. But they do have 2 hearts plus a diamond. So what does that mean? Because this is a clue in itself. So 2 hearts, Time Lord plus diamond. What could the diamond? Oh, that's the 60th. What am I saying? Yeah, I'm an idiot. No. But there you go. Anyway, that's what he looks like. I don't know if you can actually see him properly there. I'll big screen it there. If I is. Gary B thinks he might be Rassilon. Now, also, obviously, people have been sending me stuff all day, and I will get around to it. But apparently, there's a couple of screenshots of rumors I've been sent. Now, I will say this before I mention the rumors. So, apparently, and we have spoke about this on this channel months and months ago. But whether this rumor is an actual rumor or it's because of recent photographs, now people are coming up with theories and putting it out as a rumor. But apparently the latest rumor is that RTD is going to, for his tenure of Doctor Who, is going to be exploring characters from the extended universe, i.e. the comics, and maybe some big finish villains and characters may appear on the main show. Now, I did say I had a little bit of concern about that because it depends on what characters and what villains he's bringing. Is he going to, it'll be interesting to see if he's going to change out, and because he's bringing these characters in. Do some of these characters, obviously on Big Finish, do they have their own canon? As fans have rightly pointed out, you can pick and choose which you believe is canon. Is that what RTD is going to do now? Daniel reckons it might be the Valiard 2.0. A good guess as well. But let's get into this article. Right, and just wait for that to. Now the article's in the link description. I'm not going to read the whole article because they're very funny there. But I'll get the parts that are relevant to this conversation, and then if you want to read the article yourselves, as I said, it's in the link description. Doctor Who adds Neil Patrick Harris to the cast for the 60th anniversary. The How I Met Your Mother star will appear in the show next year, but who is he playing? The BBC has revealed that the Emmy and Tony Award-winning actor is currently filming scenes for the show's 60th anniversary celebrations, which will air in 2023. Now, look, I'm just going to say this. These articles are obviously going with the line that this whole thing is going to kick off in 2023. I think that's what they're being told. I honestly believe it's going to happen a lot sooner. It just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. It doesn't. And you've got to look at it. I think this is starting a lot earlier. I think this is going to kick off. I doubt he'd do it New Year's Day, because I think he'd want to get that Christmas slot back. Unless he can't get it back this time round and he'll kick it off on New Year's Day, which would make it 2023. But I reckon over the festive period, there's an episode dropping. I'm pretty sure, man. It's just some things don't make sense. So in a typically cryptic statement, RTD said, "It's a huge honor to open our studio doors for the mighty Neil Patrick Harris. But who, why, what is he playing? You'll just have to wait. But I promise you," and this is the quote that made me sit up and take notice from RTD. "You will have to wait, but I promise you the stuff we're shooting now is off the scale. Doctor, beware." Davis' final line, "Doctor, beware," could be teasing that Harris will play a villain in the new episode, or Swords, because they've got a little. But for now, nothing is certain. So, basically, the rest of the article just goes on about how he shot to fame. He shot to fame in 1989 at the age of 16. He played the title character in medical sitcom Doogie Howser MD. He went on to star as breakout character Barney Stinson on How I Met Your Mother, which is probably the role that he's most connected to. And he had film roles in Gone Girl, The Matrix Resurrections, and this year The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. But he was only in that for briefly. To be honest, because I've actually watched that movie. It's a Nick Cage movie. And in 2021, he starred in Davis's series It's a Sin. So he's known by the British audience anyway. And you know, I think he's a talented actor. So welcome aboard the TARDIS. But I'm telling you, man, something just doesn't. This is starting a lot here. I don't care. Look, I never really stake my reputation on it, but they're filming so early for something that doesn't kick off next year. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. I mean, okay, maybe they're announcing it because they know fans are there and they'd seen Neil Patrick Harris there and they want to preempt and get there before the fans spoil it, maybe. But I don't know. Something tells me this is kicking off a lot sooner than 2023 because, you know, look, it's definitely multiple episodes, right? Because even the Radio Times article there, they put episode and then in brackets, they put the yes. So they're even speculating. But I don't think this is kicking off in 2023. Unless it's New Year's Day, as I said. If he can't get the Christmas spot this time around, then he probably will do it New Year's Day. But knowing RTD, he'll want that Christmas slot. If he was to start off, I reckon he'll start off Christmas Day. But we'll see. We'll wait and see. But yeah, let's see what everybody has to say in the chat. We got 35 people watching right now, 36 people watching right now. Thank you very much for tuning in. Leave a comment, let me know what you guys think. Are you delighted with the casting? Do you even care? But interesting. Good guest star. So we've got TARDIS Spider in the chat, Real Super Doctor, Problem Bing. We got Chris in the chat as well. JFO, Real Super Doctor, Cams, Crash Courses. The Legend is in the chat. Brisk is in the chat as well. If you just want to let me know who you're, because the chat only goes up a certain amount on this StreamYard. So if you're in the chat, let me know. I know there's a couple of members in the chat as well. Welcome. Check out the member streams that we have. Seems like he's really trying to get people excited with these big names. Yeah, but the difference is that he's really hyped. He really hypes things. You know, he's very cryptic as well, as I said. He look, I told you this, right? We literally had a stream about RTD, the difference between him and Chibs, right? The difference already is startling, folks. It's startling. Look at Doctor Who now. It's trending like it's never trended before. This is why I've said I was even surprised, because I was, like most fans out there, thinking this show was dead in the water, right? But the RT, we always said, you know, especially when we knew that RTD was coming back, what factor would he play? How would his return affect the fandom, affect the public out there? I think we've seen that it's had a positive impact on the fandom. I thought this show was dead and buried, like a lot of people. I still think it has life in it, and I think the announcements lately and the one that we're getting today, the one that we got today, have proven that there's life in this old dog yet, and that if it's treated with respect and care, and you know, you get someone that understands the show, which RTD does, then this show can go places. Now, will it ever get the ratings that it got during its first era? No, because the TV landscape has changed. There's a lot more choice now, right? So, you know, as I said, if you write something good, you will get an audience, and you'll get a loyal audience. And then word of mouth will do. Look, it is quite possible that it could get the same numbers, but I doubt it very much. It depends on what their strategy is when obviously it's being released around the world as well. How they promote it in the UK especially as well. His promotion is going to be very important and a key part of all of this. But so far, with the little bits of stuff that we've been given, I think he's been spot on. I don't think he's put a foot wrong when it comes to any of the stuff that he's announced so far for these specials. But it's interesting. It's interesting. It's fascinating to see how people are reacting to the little bits and pieces that we're getting. And even I'm shocked at the response. You know, I look, I'm not going to sit here and say it's all rosy. There are obviously fans and some of the general audience out there that don't care, right? So, you know, that's still a factor. But there's fans that have been away, and this is the effect. I even said it myself. There's fans that kind of left the show after RTD left because they didn't like Moffat, right? That those fans are back now, and that was the thing. He'd bring his own fans with him, and remember, he's done a lot of TV shows since then. So is RTD coming back has had nothing but a positive impact on the show. Glenn, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. But he was doing the same thing in 2005 all the way through his run, and nobody had a problem with it. The difference is that for the past 5 years, Chibnall and co have highly politicized Doctor Who. So now that RTD is making certain decisions, they're being obviously looked at with a fine-tooth comb, and they're being magnified instead of actually looking at the evidence which backs up the fact that he knows what he's doing when it comes to Doctor Who. I mean, this is nothing new. He's done this before, right? He has picked certain people and certain actors and actresses before, right? Whether they were gay, lesbian, bisexual, or whatever, right? The problem is, as I said, this fandom over the last 5 years has been highly politicised. The media have drummed it into us. Obviously, the production team, Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker, with the interviews that they done, right? But you can't judge RTD based off what Chibnall and Whittaker have done. You should base RTD off what he done in the past. And what he done in the past is exactly what he's doing right now. Yes, I know people have a problem with the castings right now, but you haven't seen that on screen, so you can't judge what he's actually done, because the fact of the matter is, as I said, the only thing you can judge him off is what he's done in the past, right? Because he's done nothing for Doctor Who right now, except make announcements, and that's it, right? But nobody has seen anything. But yet everybody wants to judge him straight away because of certain comments he made, which is fair enough. And I said, if people are angry with certain comments that he's made, they have every right to express that anger or express their point of view. But when it comes to Doctor Who, that's what we should be looking at, right? Now, if you have a problem with any of the announcements that's made, that's fine, fair enough. But what I'd say to you is look back at what he done in the past, because it's no different, right? The difference is that when he did it the first time around in 2005, fandoms weren't highly politicised. The media weren't drumming an agenda down their throats, or showrunners weren't drumming agendas down their throats, right? That's the difference, right? RTD didn't drum any agendas down their throats at the time, and he was doing all this before everybody else was. So you got to look at what he's done in the past and judge him off that, because he's done nothing for Doctor Who right now. And everybody is judging him. Oh, I'm not watching because he brought in a gay man to play the Doctor who happens to be black, and I don't think the Doctor should be black. Like, wait and see until you see something. This is what I'm actually saying, though, right? Nobody has seen anything that RTD has done for Series 14. And yet everybody's jumping the gun. But I do understand that, as I said, the last 5 years been highly politicised. But you've got to look at his past. You've got to look when he had the show back in 2005 and what he did for the years that he was there. He was doing all this stuff before, but nobody had a problem with it because it wasn't in your face back then. Not every single fucking corporation was drumming it down your bleeding throat, right? But it's different now. Every fucking Disney, the whole lot of them, they're all doing it, right? There's always an agenda. There's always a political message. There's always something, right? But that doesn't mean that when RTD comes in, he's going to automatically do what all those other showrunners have done. Because he's a clever man, and he'll see that those shows are not doing as well as they should, or some of them have failed. So why would he come in and do the opposite of what made Doctor Who work back in 2005, and then come in and say, right, well, I'm going to destroy my legacy? Because that's exactly what he'd do if he decided to go down the Chibnall route. There's no way he's going to do that. There's no way. And even listen to the way he talks about Doctor Who, even in recent interviews, right? He gets it. He understands it. And I'm sick and tired of having to say this, right? I get some of you are not happy with the castings, right? But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, you haven't seen fuck all, right? And you are judging off that. If that's what you want to do, that's fine, fair enough. But you know what? Keep it to yourselves, right? Because I want to wait until I see something on screen, see the evidence. I'm sick and tired of all of this fucking nonsense, right? It's like the people reviewing TV shows now. Oh, it's shite, it's woke. And then everybody in the comments, well, I'm not going to watch it based off your comment. Well, you fucking sheep. Watch it your fucking self, right? Because it's the only way you're going to bleed and find out. Because if you listen to half of these people, right, I can tell you, right, I can tell you this. We all have personal taste, right? We all have different tastes, right? So if you're listening to a certain YouTuber out there because he doesn't like it, doesn't necessarily fucking mean that you will dislike it. Go and watch these things for yourself. What has happened to fandom where people are relying? I don't even trust the fucking critics anymore, right? They're just as bad as each other. I don't trust the critics, and I don't trust YouTubers out there anymore to give me a balanced review of a show because they all have personal agendas, right? The ones that talk about Star Wars shows, right? They all hate Disney. So why do you... So this is the thing, right? People have to look at this logically, right? Why the fuck would you watch these people, right, that hate Disney when all they're going to do is complain about every Disney bleeding show that they do connected to Star Wars, right? They're never going to give you an honest review because their view is skewed by their hatred of a company. Watch these things for yourselves. That's been what I've been promoting on this channel now quite a lot, right? You watch these things for yourself because we all have different tastes, man. Lee is off. He's got stuff to do. Busy man. Nice to see you, Lee. We'll catch up soon. We'll probably be doing new. Yeah, we will do New Who this weekend. It's been a while. Yeah, we'll sort that out. But whatever you're busy doing, I wish you the best with it. But look, I'm gonna wait and see what happens, right? And basing off everything that I've seen so far, I think there's plenty to be excited about, right? I'm just sick and tired of people judging something without watching. See, that's the thing nobody can criticize me about. I watched 3 seasons of Jodie Whittaker's Doctor Who. I watched every single fucking episode. And why did I watch every single episode? Because people will ask, well, why did you bother watching if you didn't like it? Right? Because I firmly believe if you're going to criticize something, or you're going to talk positively about something, well, then you have to watch it fucking first, right? Can't be like pretending to watch these things or watching little bits of clips and then coming up with a review, which I've seen over the years from other YouTubers. It's clearly obvious they haven't watched the whole episode. So I believe you should watch all of these things before you judge. It's the only way you'll find out. I don't trust critics anymore, and I don't trust YouTubers anymore, right? As I said, there's shows out there that I ignored because these YouTubers were slating them. I've went and watched them for myself, and I have to say I've really enjoyed them. I just don't know. The landscape on YouTube has completely changed. It's just people just want to focus on certain things, you know. And we haven't seen that yet. Like, don't get me wrong, this could be all right. Shoot, he could end up being one of the worst doctors, right? But it's not. That's the thing. People are not talking about that. They're talking about his sexuality. They're talking about his skin color. Like, what's that got to do with anything? Right? He's an actor. If he comes in and he knocks it out of the park and plays the doctor well, then are people going to have a problem with his skin color and his sexuality then? Should people not wait and see first before judging? as I said, it's happening in the it's happening in the Doctor Who fandom as well. It's been happening in the Star Trek and Star Wars fandoms for years now, and it's starting to happen in Doctor Who fandom. No matter what RTD announces, right, it's going to be picked at, right? There's going to be people that are saying there's an agenda behind it, right? That oh look, here we go again, all of this nonsense, right? Nobody's seen that on screen. I mean, this fandom is just getting as bad, and it's actually really pissing me off because I thought we were a better bunch. I thought Doctor Who fans were clever and smart, but yeah, and Doctor Who fans always waited to see anything before judging it. That's what we were known for. But we want to be like reactionary, like the Star Wars fandom now, and the YouTubers and the Star Trek fandom and their YouTubers just want to be reactionary to every single decision that's made, and it's ridiculous, and it's getting boring now. It's getting bored now. I'm surprised that people that are subscribed to channels are not calling this out now, because it's all negativity all the time. Never anything positive. There's never a positive spin put on anything anymore. And it's very rarely that they talk about positive stuff. You know, it's always drawn towards the negative stuff all the time. That's why I said, if RTD doesn't deliver, I'm finished talking about Doctor Who. This Doctor Who. I will continue to talk about the Doctor Who that I love and stuff like that. But if he doesn't deliver, I'm done. And I'd rather be done than sit there for the next few years and do what these YouTubers are doing. I'll walk away. Right? Because it's not worth getting me mental health, getting worked up, and then, you know, deliberately targeting people because they like a show. And which I'm starting to see quite a lot as well, in different fandoms as well. I've noticed that, you know, people are now being laughed at and mocked at by these people because they like the show that they hate and want to criticize, instead of, you know, what happened to, you know, when they used to say, well, if you like the show, that's fine, fair enough, just don't be coming after us and we'll leave you alone. But now it's turned the opposite way. They're attacking people for liking a TV show. I mean, we have grown men, giving out about Miss Marvel. These are the very same people that said they weren't going to watch the show. The show is not even aimed at that audience, and yeah, they're doing streams and complaining about it. I mean, it's not even for you guys. Why does it bother you so much? And anyway, Miss Marvel apparently is a character that's not very popular. So why does it bother you so much? Because she happens to be Latina, and because, you know, this, that, and, you know, they could say that it's not. It's exactly why they're complaining about it. And then they look for reasons to give out about it. Now, I'm not going to watch the show. I have no interest in the show because it's not aimed. I seen the poster and I said, yeah, that's aimed at teenagers. That's aimed at girls and boys. That's not aimed at people like me. Right? But why are they talking about it? Because it's something to complain about. So as I said, I'm looking forward to the RTD era. Right? All the decisions that he's made so far, I'm okay with. I have no issue because I haven't seen anything. I trust him for the simple fact of the matter is that he proved himself when he took this show out of the wilderness and brought it back onto the screen. And I'll be forever thankful for him doing that. And for that reason, he does deserve a chance to prove that he can bring this show back to some former glory. Right? And at the same time, if there are fans out there that believe that he's going to fail, that's fine, fair enough. Right? But at the end of the day, as I said, and I've said this from the beginning, just because you aren't enjoying any of the decisions, there's a lot of the fandom that are. So, you know, if you feel like you see, and I'm still saying it, I mean, people just can't help themselves, you know, whether it's me comment section in my videos or whether it's on Twitter and I put up a tweet, you know, someone has to be an naysayer and has to say something negative. Like, we get it. You've already explained to me 15 times, as I said, that you don't like it. I don't need to keep hearing it every 5 minutes. So, Neil Patrick Harris, another positive. We will see what happens. For me, it's the writing, and that's what RTD will be judged on at the end of the day. Will be his writing, not his casting decisions, not like that. It'll be his writing. Yeah, don't text and drive. Don't text and drive. We do not. And would you be interested in reviewing audiobooks? People can discuss their favorite readers, bits in the books that don't appear in the TV show, etc. That may be something we can look into. Yeah, if people would like me to do that. I have unsubbed from a lot of these channels due to all of this, says Daniel. Look, I'm not saying you should unsub, right? But all I'm just saying to people is can you not fucking think and watch these things for yourselves anymore? Remember, we used to call the other side of the Doctor Who fandom sheep because they went along with everything that was going wrong with the show. And now we have people on this side now, because a few naysayers have said that they're uncomfortable with the decisions that he's made. You know, it's becoming the same bloody thing. Like, wait and see. Lee Halford says, well, and I agree with him here. Nothing will be as bad as the Chibnall era, end of. I agree. And I think, as I said, the evidence backs that up, because look at what RTD has done in the past with Doctor Who. Nobody had a problem with any of the casting decisions that he made. Were people giving out about John Barrowman at the time? Right? Were people giving out about any LGBTQ plus characters back in the day? Seriously, was there anybody? No, because that wasn't the focus. It wasn't the focus. So why do people think that that's going to be the focus now? I'll tell you why. Because as I said, Chibnall and Whittaker and the media that supported this era have actually caused all of this and generated this. Right? So we got to get a step away from that thinking, because that's the way they done things. It's not the way that RTD has done it in the past. And that's why I do trust them. As Lee says, in RTD, I trust. Same here. And me and Lee don't always agree, but I'm agreeing with Lee here. I trust him because he's delivered before. So I don't know why. I just don't know why, you know, people just can't wait and see. Yeah, I can understand it because of the last few under the current production team. But remember, why I just don't look at it. It makes no sense to me for RTD to go back on everything that made Doctor Who successful back in 2005 and to do the opposite, to pander to a small minority in this fandom. And if people truly believe that that's what he's going to do, well then I blame Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker and the media. As I said, they're the ones that have highly politicised this fandom and got the fans thinking that way, because they've done these things. So, as I said, To a certain extent, I understand it, but wait and see what he does before you all judge him. Listen, I'm not saying that there wasn't any backlash to some of the decisions that RTD made back in the day. Even when he was announced as showrunner, there was a bit of a backlash. But you've got to remember, yeah, there always is an initial backlash to certain decisions. We all know that. But the thing about it is then when he wrote the show and he did the stories, all of that faded away. Right? So based on that, people should already know that he's not going to make it about a certain agenda. He's going to write Doctor Who the way it should be written. So it doesn't matter. We know it's happened in the past. I'm not sitting here saying that there wasn't backlash to decisions that RTD made during his first run, because there was. I remember, right? But the difference is that he's writing, did the talking, and shut those fans up. So based off that, and based off the evidence of his first era, I believe he'll repeat the same trick again, except this time now he's more mature. He's had a few award-winning shows under his belt, right? And and a lot of people out there agree he's a much better writer than he was back in 2005. Arduros, who said that the Doctor is gay? Who actually said that the Doctor is gay? Right? You are all assuming that the Doctor is gay because based off comments that he made that gay men should play gay characters on screen. So you are automatically jumping to the fact that the Doctor is gay. You do not know, and that's disingenuous. And for all the people out there that are pushing this, because I've seen this, it's disingenuous to say you don't know what he's going to do. And again, right? Again, it's just fans wanting to fucking cause, and YouTubers cause fucking fans to be outraged. Nobody knows what he's going to do, right? Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the Doctor is going to, because if you listen to his interviews about how he talks about Doctor Who, see, I don't just listen to those interviews and just take that interview. I have listened to everything that man has said over the years. And if you did the same, right? And if other fans out there, the naysayers, actually did the same, right? You would come to the very same conclusion that I've come to and a lot of other fans have come to. The fact of the matter is, when it comes to Doctor Who, he knows exactly what he can and cannot do for Doctor Who. He knows what works and doesn't work for Doctor Who. He even said after It's a Sin, when he was interviewed on the red carpet, right? And they were talking about It's a Sin, and then they brought up Doctor Who. And he even says it, and he's quoted as saying that Doctor Who is one of the hardest shows to write for. There's certain things that you can do in the show, and there's certain things that you cannot do in the show. He also wrote a book where there's a quote from him as well. If you just make it about the character sexuality in Doctor Who, or you make it about an agenda, you've basically missed the point of Doctor Who, right? Now, he has said all of these things over the years, and you mean to tell me that all of a sudden he's going to go back on everything that he believes and everything that worked for Doctor Who and go against it because all of a sudden now he wants to push an agenda? RTD has always had agendas. The difference is that he puts story first. And I do not believe for 1 second that he's going to actually change, because even the shows that he's won awards for, he's put story first. That's what I mean. He had no the doc. Look, at this stage, I don't care. Believe what you want to believe, right? I will see when I see on screen, right? When I see something on screen, right? Then I'll have me say on it. But for now, I'm not going to come up with silly little fucking conspiracy theories from people out there that have pushed all of this, that he's going to be playing a gay doctor. You don't know that because nothing has actually been said, right? RTD has neither confirmed or denied, or Shooty has neither confirmed or denied that that's the case. And until I see something there, and listen, right, we'll get to that when need be, if it needs to be discussed. But as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't need to be discussed, because there is no discussion to have, because nothing has been confirmed. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not. If people just want to come in and write a comment to get a reaction out of me, that's fine, fair enough. I will react if I think it's stupid. But at the end of the day, as I said, if RTD doesn't deliver, I'm not doing this, because I'm not going through another 5 years. If you want to believe what you want to believe, you want to believe that the doctor is going to be gay, then believe it, right? But as far as I'm concerned, you've said it once now, keep it to yourself, right? I know what your opinion is. I don't agree with you right now, because there's no evidence to back you up. I'm sick of this. We just can't wait and see. People just want to jump the gun, right? It's good to be negative. It pays to be negative. People need to understand that. He will deliver, says Six Nicks. Lee Halford says RTD will deliver. Lord Thought says, isn't it stressful now? I agree. I know, that's what I mean. I'm not doing it again, man. I'm not doing it again. I'm not going to be having rows and arguments with people in this, because their judgment is being clouded because of what's happened the last 5 years, and because certain YouTubers and certain personalities out there want to push this agenda, and there's nothing to back them up right now, right? And it's ridiculous. Everybody's jumping the gun, right? And as I said, all of these people could be right. But right now, they don't know as much as we don't know. But the fact that they're jumping to conclusions, and they want to jump to conclusions, that's fair enough. Fans can jump to all the conclusions that they want. But that, as I said, people just want to ruin it for other people that are enjoying this ride right now, right? And I don't know why you want to do that. It just seems a little bit petty, right, to me, right? I get it. You have your opinions. They're very strong. But don't be doing, as I said, what these Jodie Whittaker fans have been doing, and trying to fucking change fans' minds and say, oh, no, but see this, no. But see, this proves that we're... No, nothing. I see nothing, because I haven't seen that on screen. Strange New Worlds is great. Miracles can happen. Exactly. But if you were to listen to the YouTubers out there, right, which I did originally, not going to lie, they said it was shit, right? They said that certain characters were rubbish and all of this. So, do you know what I did? I said, do you know what? I seen it there. I was going to watch Star Trek Voyager again, believe it or not. And then I seen it was there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a go, right? The first episode was great. I'm not going to lie. It is a slow burner. But the stories are great, because you could tell, even though it is kind of modern, right? The stories that they're doing are the kind of silly stories that they would have done in the original series. Yeah, Aniston Mount, who plays obviously Pike, Captain Pike, is brilliant. But again, people were harping on him because he made comments about racism, right? And another thing that I'm saying, which is very disturbing as well, is that, there are certain people out there that are attacking, mothers and fathers whose child may be transitioning or brought them to a pride march and stuff like that. Now, look, whether you agree with it or not, that's fine, fair enough. People will have their personal beliefs, but to go and call these people mothers and fathers groomers, right? And they're saying the same thing about Disney celebrities as well, calling them groomers. I think it's absolutely shocking that they're going around openly calling people groomers, and there's no pushback or reaction from people out there. That's absolutely disgusting. Listen, there is a lot of the leftist agenda out there that is harming kids, and I won't sit here and say that there isn't, right? But these parents aren't groomers. They're bad fucking parents, if you want to call them bad parents or whatever, right? But to fucking God, no, I'm sick of this shit, man. See, you know what? People are losing the run of their fucking selves now. They've gotten so fucking powerful. They think that they could say anything and do anything without consequence, right? And there is consequence. There always is consequence. Over the past 5 years, there's been certain consequences to stuff that I've done over the past 5 years, right? I've lost some friends along the way because of it. There are consequences, right? There's always consequences. I'm sick and tired of this fucking stupid rhetoric, right? It's the wrong way to go about it. Calling people, it's getting ridiculous. And I'm not saying there aren't pedophiles out there because we've seen it, right? Yes, you call them people whatever you want to call them, but the people have just lost focus, and they've let it's just gone ridiculous, man. Everything is being blurred between truth and lies, and where the line is drawn, and the line is blurred right now because people are just openly crossing that line. I think it's disgusting, right? I think it's disgusting. Yeah, I reckon Neil Patrick Harris is the celestial toy maker. Have you watched Strange New Worlds, Arduous? Because you're making comments there that I see a lot from people that haven't actually watched. Have you watched Strange New Worlds? Because it's a younger version of her when she first started out in Starfleet. So how have they destroyed her? Because she's not in the little skirt that she was in the original show when she was older. Is that what you have a problem with? That she's not in her little skirt and she doesn't have her hair? Is that what the problem is? They haven't destroyed Spock. Your man that's playing Spock actually is not as annoying as people made him out to be. I will say this though, I'm still getting used to the dialogue, because I know this is new Trek now, and the dialogue sometimes, I will say, for me can be a bit distracting because I'm used to the way it's done in Voyager, Next Generation, kind of uniform sort of things, But this show is good. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. It is. It's actually very well done, and it's not written by Kurtzman. I haven't seen Kurtzman. I've seen his name on it as the executive producer, but all the writers and the directors are different people. It's the same with Star Trek Prodigy. That done very well as well. I watched all of that. The reason why that done well as well is because Kurtzman has nothing to do with it. Yeah, his name is on it, but he doesn't write any of the stories. When Kurtzman doesn't write it, it's actually decent. When he does, it's bad. Yeah, the Doctor. You're saying the Doctor is he's totally unethical, right? But I'll ask you this question: could you sit there and watch your daughter waste away and die from leukemia? Yeah, it's very easy for you all to say it's unethical, right? Watch the show, right? Watch it in the context that they're telling the story in. His daughter is dying. See, this is the stupid shit that people want to complain about without giving the audience any context, right? And then everybody, oh, that's ridiculous, that is, and blah, without even watching. There's context here. And then number one then gave him his own independent power source, right? Because she got it, right? And if you're going to talk about unethical things, right, let's talk about Captain Janeway and Tuvix, right? This is not the first time that someone in the Star Trek universe has done something unethical, right? Not the first time, and it certainly won't be the last time. It's a science fiction show, right? And this is the beginning, right? So the Prime Directive is only being talked about in this, or they're going to refine the Prime Directive in this. So right now, Starfleet will still make mistakes, right? And they will have consequences, which has been shown on the show. Pike can now only think about what, because, right, so you've made a comment there. I'll answer that, right? Because that is, no, I'm not messing. That is a ridiculous comment. And I'll tell you why, right? Yes, he might know what's going to happen to him in 10 years' time. And you're saying, right, well, if he knows what's going to happen, don't be there. But you don't know the course that he's going to take over the next 10 years that might lead him to that situation, and he has no way out. Right? He has no way out. Because whatever course he takes now, whatever path he takes now, will lead him to those 10 years. Right? And then you would complain then if he did find a way out. Right? Then you would say, oh, but he's breaking canon because Pike is supposed to be in the wheelchair burnt. You're breaking canon. So you'd be giving out about that too. So what do you want? Yeah, they did. No, listen, I'm not going to deny that they have wrote themselves in a corner there. But think about it. The reason why they have wrote themselves in a corner is because that is his path. We know what's going to happen, Pike, right? But if they were to change that, the very same fans that are giving out about that will be giving out the fact that they've broke canon. So I don't know what you fucking fans want now. What do you actually want? Because if they break canon, right, you're going to have the same people giving out, right? I mean, I don't know what you want them to do. I'm not saying that Strange New Worlds is perfect. Of course it's not perfect. But I tell you one thing, right? With all the Star Trek shows that I've seen, the newer ones, under Kurtzman and JJ, when he did the movies, Strange New Worlds and Star Trek Prodigy, for me, those two projects, right? Because Kurtzman's nothing to do with them. He doesn't write them. He is an executive producer on them, but he doesn't write for them. Are the two best shows with the Trek name right now. I don't want to be doing this anymore. I shouldn't have to, like, just be sensible about it, be logical about it. You know, like logic has gone out the window. Just people just want to be negative for. I'm starting to believe it's for the sake of it now. It used to be justified. It used to be justified because there was, but now it's not. I'm not saying it's still not justified, but it's over the top. It's over the top. People need to take a step back, and kind of, start doing what you did originally when you started your YouTube channels. Be balanced and fair with our criticism and is our, obviously, which is our positive takes, But it's lost that. It's lost that. That's why I refuse to say anything negative about RTD. Is because I haven't seen that, and you can't judge anything because of a few decisions that he's made. Because if you look at the special, right? I mean, everything that's been announced in the special. Don't tell me that fans are not excited about Beep the Meep and maybe the Celestial Toy Maker making an appearance. We've all seen the video footage of the huge explosions and everything, right? And then on top of that, RTD's quotes saying that this is going to be off the scale. I do believe it is. I told you that he had plans and they were going to be huge and he was going to blow you away. And that's exactly what it looks like. He's going to blow things away anyway. But it looks like he is. So yeah, I'm as I said, I'm happy to welcome Neil Patrick Harris to the Doctor Who family. It'll be interesting to see what character he's going to play. Obviously, people are speculating out there, and this is what these announcements actually do to keep the fandom going now for a while. I think it's very clever. But as I said, I don't. The media is reporting 2023. I've got a funny feeling festive period something's going to happen, because either that or it's because he was going to be seen on set and they obviously wanted to drop it before the media leaked it. That could be that. But I just find this all strange. Remember, there is still a centenary, right? And all the focus right now is on RTD. I just find it quite strange, folks. I don't know about you guys, but I find that quite strange. It's like we should have got something else now from Chibs. It's like as if BBC have just washed their hands of it, just don't give a crap, and probably Chibs himself, because if you listen to his interviews, I think he has accepted finally that his era didn't go down well. And you got to think about it, whether we like him or not, his pride would be hurt right now. But I just find it unusual that we got RTD letting slip how long it's going to be for, right? It's like RTD was doing promoting for him. I know you're saying who cares, but here's the thing, Ezra. It's not that I care. I've watched the whole era like most people have that have followed me, or that have had the guts to actually watch, or have been willing to stomach watching it. Right, but this is the last episode. This is the episode that fans want closure from. This is it. This is when it's officially done. So whether you like it or not, some fans are going to want to have to watch because they will want closure. They'll want to see her regenerate. It sounds weird, but this is a lot of fans have said that they'll probably come back and watch the last episode just to see her regenerate, to see that it's true. Even though we're getting all this RTD stuff, I still believe that some fans will tune in that haven't tuned in a few years to watch her regenerate. But the fact that nothing is coming out from him, and RTD is literally doing his promoting for him by letting slip that was an hour and a half. It's just amazing. Or maybe it's a mix between the Celestial Toymaker and the Land of Fiction from Mind Robber. Yeah, a few people in the chat have said that as well, unknown. And Lee is just out straight with it, and he says, I don't give an arse. I think he's trying to say arse about Chibnall. Yeah, I know, and I don't really myself, but it is the last episode, and it's the last big story that he has. Remember, it's Whittaker's farewell, right? This is the thing that's made me and others believe that this era has been a total failure, is for one simple reason. You look at the start of her reign, all the media coverage, all the interviews, the trailer dropping, the glass ceiling trailer, then the trailer of the characters that were being introduced, and then the actual trailer for the show. And even on top of that, we got that leaked footage. Do you remember where she was on the train for the first time playing the Doctor? And a lot of us were cringed out. That was the time that a lot of fans got seriously worried when that leaked clip was dropped. And I have to say, I was absolutely gutted at how bad it actually was. And people were saying, oh, this is not, even though this is a leaked clip, it's not finished yet. But it turned out it was literally the same bleeding clip. It was just awful. But yeah, I'm just surprised that there's nothing, and it's all RTD. But there you go. Yeah, that's it. Look, I'm not having a go at any. I'm not actually having a go. I'm just frustrated, and I'm just frustrated and kind of at the end of me wits here with the fandom. I mean, we were always known for, being fans that would wait and see what happens first before we start jumping the gun. We were always good at that. And I agree with Lee again. They killed interest in the current era when they announced RTD's comeback, which I've always said, Lee, and I think you remember at the time, I always said that was very peculiar, that announcement being announced at the time that it was, because that is the origins. That's exactly where the interest for the centenary completely died. You're right. Even before he made announcements, his announcement alone. PD Rich says, at the TARDIS Zone official YouTube channel, did you put a message that I missed or something? Let's see. Well, Arduous, we agree on that one. Yeah, I won't read that one out because, but yeah, the Doctor should blow up and dissolve into a blank screen. He says Whittaker, but he means the Doctor, or Whittaker's Doctor, or the Timeless Child, or whatever the fuck she is. I'll be tuning back in for the regeneration and maybe the specials. Look, all I'll just say to fans is this: just let's all wait and see what happens with RTD. Um, you know, I mean, it can't look. There's no way. There's no way. I'm sorry. This is why I find the whole argument right now a bit stupid. Like, they could be proved right in the end, but right now I just don't see it. That he's gonna go back on everything that made Doctor Who work and what he believes to just follow an agenda. I don't think he'd use Doctor Who in that way. I don't think he would take this job if he didn't have an idea what he was doing, and it looks like he does. It looks like he's done. Anybody in the fandom here ever think that he'd bring Beep the Meep back? And again, if it's the Celestial Toy Maker or whoever people think it is, right? Again, it's another villain that you probably wouldn't have thought they'd bring back. But as I said, this is typical him, because this is what he does. Look, it's in safe hands. I remember people. Look, if the decisions that were made by any other showrunner, then I would say to people, you're probably right. There probably is something in what you are all saying. But because it's RTD that's took over, and because of what he's done for the show in the past, I don't think any of this is what people think it is, which is it's agenda driven. Seriously. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But as I said, if I am wrong and Doctor Who turns into something that I don't recognise anymore, I'll walk away. I'm not doing any more streams on Doctor Who, the current run. I'm finished. That'll be it. I'll bow out. And we'll still continue to talk about Classic Who. And we'll do New Who as well. Obviously, we still do love certain series of New Who. That hasn't changed for me anyway. I won't stop. Again, that's another thing that I'm saying is people are now saying that they didn't, like, if you go back and watch the RTD era, it's not as good. It was agenda driven back then, but yeah, it was, but you didn't have a problem with it until Jodie Whittaker and Chibnall start doing it, and now it's become, the focus of everything. Doesn't mean that RTD is just going to focus on that. He always puts his storytelling front and center. Anyway, Raymond O'Reilly, who's a member, welcome, says, hi guys, nice to see you. Bring back the Candyman and Zarby and the Garm, says John Michael Fink. Listen, I think, I don't know, I never asked anybody. So, yeah, as I said, being sent some screenshots of some rumors. Now, as I said, this could be just someone, because they seen the photographs of Beep the Meep, is obviously jumping to the conclusion that RTD is going to incorporate more of these villains from comic strips and audios into his tenure of Doctor Who. Now, if it actually is the case that that's what's going to happen, how would you guys feel about that? Do you think it's... to me, here's another thing. To me, I think that's very clever, because obviously these things have a fandom, right? So how do you tap into that fandom and get them to watch the TV show? Well, introduce some of those characters into the TV show. And then for people that just watch the TV show and don't go into the extended universe, then it's going to be a surprise for them. And then on top of that as well, the effect that that will have then is that people will go and check out Beep the Meep, whatever Beep the Meep has been in, right? They'll probably start checking out the Celestial Toy Maker and all of that other stuff connected, you know. So it's a very clever ploy. Again, RTD doesn't just think of himself, as I said. You know, Big Finish has been in a bit of a shambles. You know, so has the Doctor Who magazine. All of these things are going to benefit all of these things around Doctor Who, right? It's going to have nothing but a positive effect, right? And then again, if you think about it, right, then the merchandise side of things, you're tapping into new sources of merchandise as well as your older merchandise. So this is very, very, very well put together by Chibs and by RTD and his team. I'm telling you, the man, I told you, he's a level above. Everything he does is calculated. It's just, he's just pure genius, man, when it comes to promoting. He doesn't even have to say much, and look at the reaction. Well, that K9 movie, yeah, that's been talked about for years. And there was actually one that was nearly there, ready to go, and then it just didn't happen. Look, K9, bringing K9 back would be brilliant. But like the Sarah Jane Adventures, it would have to be aimed at a younger audience. But then you could, right? So you've got a show for the younger audience. You've got the main show that the parents and the kids can sit down and watch together, right? And then you could reintroduce Torchwood, right? And then have that for the adults. So you have a show for everybody. And then later on down in the timeline, then aim a show that's specifically for teenagers. Now, I know they tried Class, and I know Class gets a lot of stick, but within all of that mess, there are actually some good concepts and some good stories. The execution was just poor. But I don't bash Class as much as people do out there. I've watched it. I did enjoy some of it. I'm not going to lie. So, you know, I could see what they were trying to do with it. It was aimed towards more of American teenage audience and the UK teenage audience. It was poorly promoted as well, actually, which didn't help. But, you know, they'll branch out. Listen, as I said, this is going to be huge. It's going to have a lot of moving parts. But as I said, none of this counts for nothing, right? None of this will count if the main show is not on solid foundations, right? If you build a house on a pile of sand, it will collapse, right? You've got to build it on solid foundations, right? And that's exactly what must happen with Doctor Who. So before we start getting into spin-offs and extended media or whatever, the show has to be put back on its solid foundation. And that means at least getting ratings that are consistent, you know. Now, listen, you know, even during RTD's era, his ratings fluctuated. That is normal, and it will, because people will like some episodes and people will not like some episodes so much, right? But there won't be the divide in the fandom that there has been in when it comes to episodes. Either people love or hate. There'll be a mixed reaction. What do I say? Yeah. So again, as I said, the show, just fix the show first, then talk about. Do you know what I would personally do? Right, and I said this before on the channel. Right, you do your 60th. Now the 60th is going to be different to what he does with Series 14. Right, so you have to think that way as well. right? So after the 60th, right, then obviously we're going to start getting more news, or we might get more news before then about what's going to happen in Series 14. But we've got to wait. We will have to wait and see what happens with Series 14. Now, if Series 14 ends up being a success, I still believe that you don't start then concentrating on. You don't do what Disney Plus have done, right? The one criticism that I actually have of Disney Plus is this, right? They're oversaturating the Star Wars fandom with too many shows, right? And that is a fact. Now, because of that, some of the quality of some of the shows are not as good as they should be, right? Now, I'm not going to outright slam all of these shows because there are certain shows that I still have to catch up on, right? But it is logical to think that if you have all of these shows and you're throwing them out, that the quality of certain shows are going to be affected. And this is what I'm worried about when it comes to Doctor Who and if they're going to extend all of this. Wait until the show, right, is a couple of years under its belt, and then you introduce another show. And wait until that's fully established before you release another show, and so on and so on. Establish these shows before you, because what Disney is doing, they'll release a show, right? They'll show a few episodes, then they'll drop the other show or whatever, or that show will finish and they'll drop the other show straight away. There has to be a break in between. You've got to build up your audience for that other show, right? So maybe give it a second season then before you drop the other new show, right? Then you give that 2 seasons before you drop the other one if you're going to drop another. I don't know how many shows he's going to end up doing. But you get me point of what I'm trying to say, right? Main show has to be the focus, but has to be on solid foundations, and then you can extend them. But do it at a pace that's not oversaturating the Doctor Who fandom with too many shows. Because if they go down the route of Disney Plus, they're gonna face some problems, right? The quality and the standard must never deviate, right? And the only way you do that is if you do this all in a controlled manner. And you don't just throw shows out hoping that they stick. We can't do that in Doctor Who fandom and its audience. They won't accept that. So RTD will have to do it differently to the way Disney Plus have done it. Right? You shouldn't look at their model. That's what I'm saying. Doctor Who is overdue for a feature film. Well, you might have, yeah, I do agree with you. Proper feature film would be good, but again, when the main show is actually getting steady ratings, and as I said, it will fluctuate some weeks, but I can guarantee it won't be as bad as we have seen during this current era. I mean, 1 week an episode could get decent numbers, and then the next week then it completely drop off a cliff. That won't happen under RTD. I reckon his ratings will be very consistent, and they have to be. Now, as I said, will it ever get the numbers that it got the first time round? Maybe not. But if he got close enough in this current climate with the amount of TV shows and the options that they do have, I think he could be onto a winner. So we'll see. I love Doctor Who, says Lee Halford. Sob. The time strategist or time controller, says unknown 289. The Absorbaloff. Yeah, well, let's hope we don't see the Absorbaloff again. Now, look, I'm not against RTD running fan competitions to design villains again, but don't. Yeah, look. Even with beep the meep, Addy posts and stuff like that, he does villains like this that look cute but aren't really cute. He's done this. It's an RTD trope, and he's done it well in some instance. Let's be. He's done it mostly well actually. I love the Addy post. The Azorbeloff though I did not like. Um, but I do love that story. I do love Love of Monsters. I'm not gonna lie. Um, so yeah, I'm just all excited. Neil Patrick Harris, another inclusion now. Um, but it's really heating up now. Um, so yeah, can't wait. I just can't wait. Um, it'll be interesting to see now. Because now that he's being announced, you know what's going to happen. Fans are going to be there for filming. Are we actually going to see him, or will they, while he's filming scenes, will they have him? You know, will the security be so, or will they have fans so far back that they won't be able to see anything? But yeah, the next few days. The next few days is going to be interesting because if fans can get a hold of any photographs or any footage, I think that will really send the fandom over the edge. To be quite honest with you, but we will see. We will see. Look, I'll be keeping an eye. I'm pretty sure there's people that do be in the chat that send me photographs and stuff like that, and video footage. So if there is, if any do pop up, and if I can throw them up on the channel, I will obviously throw them up on the channel for you. But interesting, interesting casting choice as well. He's a good actor, and he's won a lot of awards, as you have seen. And as I said, he's in one of my favorite movies growing up, Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies. And he's in a couple of scenes, but he literally steals the show. He's just one of those actors. You can put him literally in that, and you know you're gonna get a performance. So I don't know what he's gonna do, but I know whatever he's gonna do, he's gonna give a performance anyway. And I just can't wait to see. And you know what? I'll just say to RTD at this stage, man, as everybody said, screw Chibs, man. Just keep dropping these announcements. Nobody cares about the centenary, but I still will watch it. But yeah, I think it's funny. All the focus now is just on the 60th. And you know what? You know, if the fans of this era are complaining, in fairness, I do actually agree with them. They do have every right to be angry and to be shortchanged, because that's exactly what they have been by Chibnall. I don't think they should be focusing any negativity towards RTD. It's not his doing. I mean, Chibs is the one that controls what goes out for his last story. Nobody is telling him that he can't do anything. So Lee says, what fans? Well, listen, in fairness, all joking aside, whether we like it or not, this era has had a small following. We've seen it dwindle, obviously, over the years, but it does have a small fandom, whether we like it or not. But I wouldn't be surprised if they are complaining, because you know, if think about this, if this era was our favorite as well, not that would ever happen, but if it was and everything was done properly, imagine how we'd feel. RTD is announcing all these things, you know, when there's one more episode, we'd be kicking up a stink. So if they are kicking up a stink, I can understand it, but don't blame RTD, blame Chibs. He's the one that controls what he throws out, right? I don't know. I don't know because, like, again, as I said, it just, it was that quote, and Marty brought it up again in the stream, where they said that him and Catherine Tate were filming scenes for the 60th. They didn't actually say that they were filming a whole story. So I don't. This is the thing. I just don't know. See, again, uh, RTD is very clever. He could be announcing Neil Patrick Harris, right, as a distraction, right? So all the focus is on him, right? And they could be filming somewhere else with another doctor, right? Think about it. RTD has used decoys before, right? He could be putting beat the meat out there and all of this other stuff and filming stuff somewhere in secret with other doctors. Now, I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but that's how I would do it if I wanted to distract the fandom. Announce that, oh, here's Neil Patrick Harris. He's gonna play. He's gonna play. Who's he gonna play? Right? Then put up a photograph. Have all the fans speculating. Right? So then all the fans then that obviously go to filming will all turn up there where Neil Patrick Harris is. Meanwhile, there's some of his team are somewhere else on a different location filming scenes with another doctor. Now that's just me speculating, of course. But if that's what if I was showrunner and I wanted to keep things under wraps, that's exactly how I would do it. Distract the fandom with something, get the fans that go to film and go there, right? And then film somewhere else in secret as well, right? Because he's got the resources to do it now. Remember, this is not like RTD under BBC where he had limited resources and limited money. Now he's got all the resources at his disposal. So he could literally be filming the scenes with Neil, and that's why he's announced it. Get it out there publicly. Fans will be distracted. They'll come up with their theories. They'll turn up at filming, and I can film somewhere else in secret. Now, that's what I would do if I was showrunner. That's how you distract the fans. So the answer to your question is I don't know. But I can tell you that a lot of people, including myself, were getting those rumours that that's what was supposed to be happening. Now, whether it does or not now, we will have to see. We'll have to see. But they haven't. Like, I mean, they haven't really confirmed or denied to a point where we could say, yeah, it's definitely not going to happen. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But that's how I would do it. That's how I distract the fandom. And then if I wanted to film scenes, like they had to announce David and Catherine, right? And think about it, that even that announcement, the filming scenes with David and Catherine, right? They could have been filming scenes somewhere else at that time as well. I don't know, because RTD is very clever. RTD is very clever. And if he wants to keep something under wraps, trust me, he can keep something under wraps. If he doesn't want something to get out, he wants to distract this fandom, he can distract this fandom. He's very good at that. He's done it before in the past. He can do it again. And I tell you, if I was him, and if I was bringing back other doctors, but I didn't want them to be seen, then I would announce something, get all the fans distracted, make sure that they're all at that location, and film somewhere else in the country. No, I'd like them to keep that one under wraps. to be quite honest with you, JFO. That's what I'm saying. That's why if I was going to do it, that's how I would do it. Embargo on Matt Smith announcement, apparently. Well, there was a screenshot a few weeks back. Apparently, you can go in and check what drafts of posts that the accounts are going to put up, and you can see them in advance if you download this app thing. But someone put up a screenshot, and apparently Matt Smith and it was going to be announced, and then after that, then I think there was Paul McGann, and then Peter Capaldi. Now I seen that screenshot, but I dismissed it as a fake because I don't actually think you can check drafts of tweets that these accounts are going to throw before the general public see it. Because if that's the case, then all fans would have to have done for years that Twitter's being up if they wanted to know about anything that was going to be leaked about Doctor Who's, to actually do that and go in and look at the official BBC Doctor Who account and see what they have drafts of upcoming tweets that they're going to throw out. So that's why I dismissed it, because if that's the case, we'd all be doing it and we'd be all able to drop exclusive news. So I highly doubt it. I don't know. That doesn't mean to say that there won't be an embargoed press release soon on Matt Smith. If you look at it, normally these announcements come in three, because when he did it the first time, he had three announcements to make, and he made the three announcements. Now he's left it for a while. He's made another announcement. Does that mean then we might get another two announcements coming? Because he usually does them in three. Sony are not spending a single penny of their own on Doctor Who. They have no rights to the series other than to make episodes for the BBC. Well, if they're making episodes for the BBC, they're putting their own money into it. And the BBC controls all distribution rights. Is actually, yeah, exactly. They don't control what happens with the show. They distribute it. We all know that. And Sony is putting their own money in because they're making episodes in conjunction with Bad Wolf Studios. See, there's still a misconception here that BBC is controlling Doctor Who. BBC is not controlling Doctor Who. Bad Wolf and Sony are controlling Doctor Who. And Sony are making the episodes in conjunction with Bad Wolf, and it is their money. BBC Studios is there to distribute the show. That's it. They have no control or say of what RTD does with the show. And I know there was a stupid rumour going around that Toby Stevens was cast and that BBC vetoed that and they wanted a black actor. Bullshit, right? And it's bullshit because it comes from a bullshit artist YouTuber who has been bullshit artisting the Star Wars fandom for years. So I don't believe that, right? Because as I said, this is a Bad Wolf and a Sony production. They're the ones that are calling the shots here. BBC Studios will distribute the show. That is their only involvement in it. They have no say in any of the decisions that RTD has made. So this casting of Shooty has been down to him. The casting of Yasmin Finney, if that's her name, that has been down to him. This has not been sanctioned by the BBC. BBC have not told RTD what he must and mustn't do, because I can tell you now, there is no way that RTD would have offered to take this over if BBC were going to tell him, well, you can't do this and you can't do that. right? And people will say, but he follows the BBC agenda and all of this. But as I said, he's not doing this for BBC. It's a Bad Wolf and Sony production. Anyway, I've got to leave it there. So if anything else breaks in the meantime, or in the next couple of days, obviously, I'll be on. We'll come back tomorrow because obviously I have a few things that have been sent, so we will throw them up on the channel tomorrow during the live stream, and we'll discuss them in further detail. A bit more about what maybe RTD will do for his tenure of Doctor Who. So tune in for that tomorrow. But for now, as I said, another announcement made by RTD. And as I said, I'm really starting to believe that we're going to get something before 2023. I just have a feeling. Either that, or, as I said, he wanted to preempt the media or fans leaking it. But in saying that, he doesn't normally be really bothered by stuff like that. So I think there's a bigger picture here. We'll see. I could be wrong. But I'm going to say Christmas. And if it's not Christmas, then it's definitely going to be New Year's Day. It's going to kick off. I don't think we're going to be waiting long. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to leave it there. And if anything else comes in, as I said, I will let you know. But thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't become a member, please do. There's a few member streams up there. We will be starting our RTD era streams as well. So check them out. Also, we will be finishing off the Matt Smith era this week. And I think we've got one special to go of Matt Smith before we get into Peter Capaldi. I'm not sure. I think there's two, maybe. We'll find out. I'll have to go back on the channel and see where we stopped. I forget. But we'll sort it out, and we'll have New Who back the weekend. So look out for them. So if you want your RTD, become a member, and you'll get some interviews there from people in the community. We'll be setting up more interviews as well, and we'll have the New Who streams, and we'll be doing other stuff as well. Actually, just to tell you, so last night I managed to link the PlayStation to the TARDIS Zone YouTube channel. The reason why I had set up a second channel in the first place was because I couldn't remember what my password was to link the PlayStation, but I found my password last night. So I've linked it. So I've put up a poll, but if people want to tell me in the chat real quickly before I go. So I was thinking maybe we could start some gaming streams on the main channel. And I was wondering if that'd be something you would be interested in, or would you rather me keep the streams on the other channel? So put a poll up on Twitter. If you haven't voted, just vote yes or no. And if you want to tell me in the chat here right now, and I'll get some indication of what you all think. And if we do, we could start Red Dead Redemption from the beginning, Red Dead Redemption 2 from the beginning again. Apparently, there's a lot that I missed the first time round. I forgot to rescue some kid locked in the basement, which I think is in Valentine or something, or Strawberry, the gunsmith, has a kid, and I forgot all about him. And there was a couple of the side missions as well that I actually forgot. as well, where Arthur goes and kills the bloke that did bad things to him when he was a kid. I missed that as well. But let me know in the comment section, because obviously I can't wait for you to, because nobody has said that. But if you want me to do those streams on the channel, if you would like to give it a go, we test it out, let me know if you think it's a good idea. I think we stopped at the Day of the Doctor, not sure. Yeah, because I think we watched the Night of the Doctor before that, didn't we? So what are we on next? What's after the Day of the Doctor? Oh, is it? No, it's not the name of the Doctor. Is it the time of the Doctor? It's up to you, your channel, mate. Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, you're right. It is my channel, but at the end of the day, you guys come and watch. And we have actually kind of built up an audience on the other channel. But I'm just interested to see, would people like to see them on the main channel. I think it's Time of the Doctor. Right, Grant. Right, yeah, I think it is Time of the Doctor. That one, if I remember, wasn't great, was it? I didn't really like most of the Matt Smith specials, I have to be honest. I mean, the 50th has grown on me over the years. I still have me issues with it, but overall, not bad. Oh, there's your woman that was in Doctor Who. She played Madame Vast, not Madame Vastra. What was the one with the eye patch? The one that took River Song, who took Amy's baby. What was her name? Madame, what was her name? Eye patch out. There she is there. She's in some show there. They can't see that. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. There's the actress there. Yeah, Madame Varian. Oh, I can never say her name. Yeah, her. She's on screen there. Yeah. She's on a new show there on one of the channels here in Ireland. Anyway. So yeah, I do like Matt Smith's Goodbye. It's very sad, actually. That's the sad that for me in New Who. That's the saddest regeneration. You know, because as I said, by David Tennant's one was like, will you hurry up? But with Matt Smith, you actually didn't want them to regenerate. And when he takes off the bow tie, and then when Amy walks down the stairs and just says "Raggedy Man," that's it. All hell breaks loose. Get the Kleenex man-sized tissues. Oh, sorry, you can't say man-sized anymore. Large-sized tissues or whatever they're fucking called now, because you can't have man in Manhattan anymore. Anyway, I'm off. Have a good one, folks. See you soon. Good night. Take care. And we will talk very, very soon. Bye.